Yo, fancy community, welcome to Proper Tings, the FPL show brought to you by the ttfplproleague Season 2, Episode 14. So we back after a great game week. I made the decision to go with Nico, Lisa, and Algib Jackson over Isaac, and that paid big dividends. We also went for Palmer for a hit. That one didn't pan out too well thanks to Nani, but we move. So with the kickoff being Friday, let's jump straight into things and see what occurred in Game Week 12. Like I said, it was a massive green arrow in Game Week 12. We cut our initial 650k rank now into 285k, well, 285, 250k. So we're moving on up. So hopefully we could continue the momentum in Game Week 13. And a quick look back to see how we did this. We could see that I had a massive 84-point game week, starting off with Mark Flecken and Sepp Vanderberg rewriting their wrongs there and washing away their sins. Clean sheet for Brentford, so 9 from Flecken, 6 from Sepp. Gabriel with a clean sheet as well, 6 points. Vadio, however, a goose egg as City absolutely got trashed by Spurs. In midfield, we had a big return from the skipper, Mo Salah, with 26 points, and nothing else to show with 2 from Palmer, 2 from Bruno, 3 from Mbuino, and 2 from Rogers. So the midfield not stepping up. But the 2 guys up top, Cunha, 16, and of course, Nico Jackson with a massive 12 points. The bench, you could see that Makalenko at the back there with 6 points, and Fabianski continuing where he left off last game, he got another 6 points. So this combined 84 points rose us all the way up now into the 285k range. So a massive game. And now looking at the red flags in my team, well, not much that I don't like, but in the goalkeeping position, Flecken will be going after this game week. It's one more and out, one and done for Flecken. So a great clean sheet last game week, but he'll be out the following game week. In defense, Makalenko again with the fixtures turning from bad to worse now after a great run. He looks like the guy that will make way for most likely Ryan Altnuri. And well, in midfield, no real concerns this game week after I'm bringing in Cole Palmer. So we shored up the midfield a little bit. And the forward line with Chris Wood playing Arsenal last game week and now switching to Ipswich this game week, we could bring him back into the starting lineup. But the no João Pedro at his price point and the form that he's been exhibiting, especially with a game versus Southampton on Friday, could spell danger. So the no João Pedro is a little bit of a concern. So those are the red flags in the team right now. So like I said, with Makalenko, it's not really anything more than the fixtures about to turn very tough for Everton. So he will be the guy to make way. And again, on the episode, it's Ryan Altnuri. When I first mentioned him, he was 4.4. Now he's 4.9. And his fixtures just run beautifully until Boxing Day, until December 26th. So Ryan Altnuri is a spot start until Boxing Day. So you could run him straight through the festive period up to Christmas. So Ryan Altnuri, you can't go wrong there. In midfield, I know a lot of players will be eyeing Saka this upcoming game week. With my current setup, I don't have any flags. But if there's one midfielder that I would bring in, and I have to mention him, it's going to be Bukayo Saka of Arsenal, as Arsenal play West Ham, and he gives a great captaincy option on paper, and he will be in the captaincy corner a little later in the show, so that's a little spoiler there. So I have to mention Bukayo Saka for obvious reasons. And if you already have Cole Palmer, I think he's a keep. I think Rogers is a keeper as well. If you have Bruno, you may not have liked what you saw so far, but if you have him, maybe you keep him through Everton, and so on. So, of course, Bukayo Saka looks like the major concern for myself with the guy that I'm missing. So he's the guy that will be featured in the midfield. And finally, in attack, no real issues with my front line, as Cunha, Jackson, and Chris Wood will be staying this game week. But again, João Pedro versus Southampton is going to be ringing alarm bells, especially at his price. Basically, any manager could afford him, as it's a simple switch. Currently, it's 5.6 million. Brighton, of have been playing well. João Pedro has been returning points. Southampton not so good in the league this season. So it's a perfect storm there on the Friday night. So a lot of players will be looking to move him in. Me personally, I'll be looking to get this game from Chris Wood and then move on to João Pedro. So that's the current plan there going forward. Another option there I see a lot of managers have been asking is what to do with Strand Larson, if to move him to Cunha, what to do with Welbeck, and what to do with players like Raul Jimenez and Erling Haaland. Well, I can't be a hypocrite because I already moved Erling Haaland last game week for Nico Jackson. I think if you have to move on from Raul Jimenez, if you don't have the Cunha money, João Pedro is a great option. And Strand Larson to Cunha is worth doing if it's not for a hit. If it's for a hit, I'm not too sure I do it this week, although Cunha is the man on fire right now. So that concludes all the red flags and a little options on how to solve them for this upcoming game week. Now we move on to the observations for this week. And it's simple. Isaac was put on ice as Jackson, aka Leeson Algib, that's the name I've given them, rises. So we saw Isaac blank on the Monday night fixture, a goal assist and 3 bonuses for Jackson. So part 1 of that side, well, that Isaac versus Jackson fight, wrong one goes to Jackson. So we see how that develops for the next 5 game weeks. The Mega 4 trumps the SALAH drafts as the SALAH owners at SALAH and Haaland managers were in the mud, another blank from Haaland. So hopefully if you did have the light blue master, you didn't captain him because it would have been even more pain and tears on game week 12. As the Mega 4 being whether it be Salah, Saka, Bruno, and of course Cole Palmer, maybe a Isaac in there, is absolutely rising up the ranks. So the Mega 4s right now trumping the SALAH drafts. Is it last chance saloon for Forest and Brentford assets as their fixtures turn very difficult? As we could see, Brentford and Nottingham Forest, this may be the last game week to absolutely enjoy those assets as their fixture run is going to become very difficult. We're already seeing that I'm making plans to move on Flecken. And if you're an Mbuino owner, maybe a little unimpressed with his recent displays. So you definitely have an eye on moving him on, but I definitely play them this game week as they both have great matchups on paper. And finally, managers now rush the Gunners, but will the Gunners fire or draw blanks versus the reborn Hammers? It's 2 back-to-back clean sheets now for Fabianski and the Hammers defense after a poor start to the season. Maybe the Hammers are picking up some steam. It's going to be a London derby, so it's going to be hotly contested. Of course, Arsenal do play Sporting Lisbon on Tuesday, so we're waiting to see how that pans out if everyone comes out of the game. But that London derby promises to be hotly contested, especially now with Arsenal trying to move up the table. So we're waiting to see how that pans out. And that concludes the observations for this game week. Now, with all that being said, this is my planned transfer at the time of recording. Moving off the aggressive moves we made last game week to move Haaland to Nico Jackson and of course bringing Cole Palmer for Semenyo. I think this week we may continue the aggressive streak as I'm not too happy with what I saw from Bruno, so I may move him on to Bukayo Saka. I know Mbuino is also a guy that is in a lot of managers' thoughts to move on, but I don't think this is the game week you want to move away from Mbuino as he has a very enticing game this upcoming game week. So he's on the clock. I think Bruno to Bukayo Saka could be the move. But we have to wait to see what happens in midweek with Arsenal in Europe, so we're definitely keeping an eye on that. And now the final part of the episode. Of course, after all the information, you may have one more dilemma, but have no fear. Captaincy Corner is here. Here's where I give you the best 5 captaincy options for the upcoming game week. And this game week is a special game week because we have a marquee matchup on show on Super Sunday on the 1st day of December. It's going to be Liverpool versus Manchester City. That's one of the big clashes for the season. And while on paper he may not be the best captaincy option, I think Salah lands at number 1 for me. Simply because as a Manchester City fan, you can see the kit on right now. Salah has always been a thorn in our sides, even when we've been playing well. Now that we have had a big dip in form and can't seem to buy a win, I think he could go nuclear again. So Salah, if I'm using everything that I've seen throughout the past years is the number one captaincy option, especially with the form he's been in. And number 2, on paper, he may be the best captaincy option. I'm talking about Bukayo Saka from Arsenal playing West Ham. Seeing him return last game, he got a goal and assist bonuses, so he's in good form, healthy, and Arsenal looking to move up the table. West Ham have seemed to be a little reborn in recent weeks, but maybe Arsenal get the better of their London rivals, and Saka is going to play a main part in that. So Saka comes in at number 2. The number 3 position is going to be one of the Brentford boys. For those who have Mbeumo and Saka and Visa, I rank Mbeumo above Visa for this game week. So it's Mbeumo/Visa. So if you have one or the other, I think this is a great game week to put the armband on one of them. Great fixture on paper, and the Honeybees will be looking to sting one more time. Number 4, it's probably the hottest player in the Premier League outside of Mo Salah. I'm speaking about the man on fire himself, the Wolves talisman in Matheus Cunha. I mean, what more can I say about this guy? A 16-pointer last game week, looking to continue the hot form, and it's a great fixture as well for the Brazilian. And this week's cheeky ball, it's going to be Chris Wood versus Ipswich. I mean, he didn't start last game week and he cooled in game week 10, but I think he's going to have a big game week this week. I think this is the last chance to enjoy the Chris Wood displays as the fixture's about to tighten up. So if you have him, you could put him in and put the armband on him. But an honorable mention to João Pedro. I think he narrowly missed the list this game week. I think versus Southampton on the Friday, it could be a little trepidation there. I don't really like to go on the Friday games personally, but I think he's a great captaincy option as well. He narrowly misses out on the list this game week. And that concludes Captaincy Corner for game week 13. And that concludes this week's episode of Proper Things. Remember, we have a Friday kickoff, so one day earlier, so don't wake up Saturday thinking it's deadline and you already missed the boat. So don't forget Southampton play Brighton on Friday. If you're enjoying the picks, I want to hear from you all in the comment section. If you're not enjoying the picks or have better alternatives, I also want to hear from you all. I want to hear you all congratulate me about the Nico Jackson pick last game week and what you all think the big pick going to be for this upcoming game week. As always, once you leave in your comment, don't forget to like the video and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It's almost Christmas time, so you guys, it's Christmas gift to me because you subscribe to the channel. You know we're not planning to miss a week or a game week in the festive season. Of course, we have a game week starting on Friday and then the following Tuesday, so we're going to have our abridged episode for the next game week, so don't worry, we'll have you covered. And until then, don't forget to do proper things in all walks of life. Good luck, and I'll see you all next game week.